my name is Terry from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. Now, this is my my March design team project for LineDotArrow, and I'm going to be using a kit called the Vintage Victorian Beauties. These are collage pages, and there's 21 pages in this kit, and they're beautiful. Now, these are European sized, so remember that when you go to print, turn your fit to page and your borderless off to get the true size and not have edges of your image cut off. And I haven't printed the back of these yet, but to know my printer, when you take them out, you have to turn right around and put them back in exactly the same way, or the pages can print upside down. So what I do is, once the pages print out, I make a black line down the edge of the paper, and then I know that that is the right front corner, and to put them right back in the same way so that the right front corners are in the right front corner. Okay, does that make sense? So that might be a method that you can use if you have to take them out and turn around and put them right back in the printer to print on the backs. And there's this collage page, and of course there's Victorian Beauties all the way through. Victorian images. There's another beautiful lady. These are all collage pages, so you can do pretty much what you want with them. I haven't decided what our project is going to be, as usual, but I decided to film this part first so I could go ahead and print on the backs. Here's one of our backing pages. Here's a writing page. And actually, this is a backing page, but it does have the line in it. Let me move that. But this one, I try to sort them and keep them together. Now, you can see that the black mark is on here. So I need to, how did I manage to do that? Oh, that's correct. They're over here. And this is the writing page. Here's another writing page. And yet a third writing page. A fourth writing page. Nice. Then you have your ephemera. So you have some tags. You have an envelope and a border and a beautiful butterfly. Then you have a larger card, some smaller cards, or medium-sized cards, I guess I would say, and a beautiful corset with a little angel. And you have some beautiful Beauties cards. You have 3 tags here, 3 large tags. You have some more medium-sized images. All the images on these cards, and I would say ephemera that you can stick on the page, are really, really pretty, especially if you print them on high quality, which is what I did. 4 smaller tags, and like this one is ready for ephemera. We're going to try to do a little bit of ephemera decorating in this video series. We'll see how it goes. Here's 4 pockets, and here are your fussy cut butterflies. Okay, so that's it for the kit. And yeah, they all ended up, the lines ended up in the right place. That's it for the kit. And so I will be back in just 1 second, and we will get started on our project. Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, and I would like to welcome you to video 1 in my tutorial / craft along and the series is called Vintage Victorian Beauties, and it's my LineDotArrow design team project for March of 2023. Now, when we left off, we had just gone through the papers, and that was pretty much it. So in between, I've gotten together some supplies to use for the book, plus I created the base, and I'm going to show you this in just one second. We're also going to use triple thick, which I'm not going to tip because it's liquid like Mod Podge, and it'll get on the lid, which I don't want to do, but it just says triple thick on the front, and it's by Deco Art, and it's Americana, which is a subset of Deco Art, and it's called triple thick. And it's just a gloss glaze, which is different than using glossy accents. Glossy accents makes things, well, glossy, and it makes them look thicker. Now, triple thick, the name implies that it's thicker, but it isn't. So what it does is it puts a matte glaze on whatever you put it on. So it does give it a sheen, and it does highlight it from the page, but it doesn't make it look super, you know, rounded like the glossy accents does. So the first thing that we're going to talk about are the supplies, and I've decided to do this in a shabby chic style. So we've got our off-white flat back pearls, we've got some lace, and I've got a cream colored ribbon that we may use in the book, but we're definitely going to use as a tie because we're going to need a tie. I've got 2 paint brushes. One says Mod Podge, but you know, the triple thick cleans up with just warm water. Now make sure it's warm and it will rinse right out. It's not like Mod Podge where it's the dickens to get out, and it usually sticks, you know, inside your brush, and you can't use it that many times. This is the brush I've been using for triple thick, and you can see that it's fine. Now on here, we may use the bigger one as well because it does dry pretty quick. You have to kind of be pretty nimble to put it on. Okay, so let's set this stuff aside. We also have our lucky frog. We rub him for good luck. Can't forget him. And let's put the paintbrushes to the side. The ribbon and the lace. We're also going to need some cream colored tabs. I use what are called whale tail tabs, and I'm not going to go into why they're called that. And let's put the pearls to the side. Now, to make the base of the book, we're going to be gluing the papers onto this base. And I really like this method because when you have flip outs and things, you don't have to worry about covering where you've glued the flap on. You can glue it to the underside of the paper and then put the paper on your base. So I'm going to number these pages 1, 2. Obviously, I don't number my coffee dyed papers. This is going to be 2 65-pound cardstock pages, cream colored, and then 1 coffee dyed paper, and then of course your second cardstock page. Now I don't number the coffee dyed papers. I just call this one 2 and 2A because if you're going to leave an open space on it, you don't want pencil writing on it. So this is going to be 3. 4 and 5 are going to be your center spread. Then you're going to have 6, 7, and your back cover will be 8. And hopefully we can get this done in 5 videos. This one's going to take a bit longer and probably take up the whole first video because we're going to go through the whole thing. And then the ones after that we're going to assume that you know how to do stuff, some of the basics, and we won't be going over it in the video. And there may be a basic page, which is just a pocket page or something, that I may do off camera as well. If you are a member of the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, you get a free tutorial, a step-by-step tutorial PDF, which is my notes typed up, which tells you step-by-step what to do for each page. And it will have the instructions, and it'll say OC next to it, which means I did it off camera, but you still get the steps. Okay? Now, you can go to my Ko-Fi page, which is ko-fi.com/Sweet Pea Papers. The links are all below the video. And you can pay for the PDFs there, but you might as well join the group and get them for free. Also, if you look below the video, you'll see that there's a 40% off design team discount for you, and that's for anything in the LineDotArrow Etsy shop. Okay, so I think I got all that out of the way. So anyway, we made our base. I've picked this out as the front and the back cover, and I've got 2 copies because, and we'll talk about this in a minute, because I want to put triple thick on this and make a pocket out of it. So I've got the second page, or the second copy, so I can put the triple thick on, cut it out, and then glue it to the other one and make the pocket. Okay, so we're going to set these aside as the cover page. And then what I did was I thought, well, okay, I'll print on the backs, which most of these I wouldn't need to print on the back, but I did anyway. And I picked out this lace. I have a kit that's all lace, and you can use it for backgrounds or whatever you want. And I picked this one out because it was cream and tan, which now looks more brown to me. These are more tan and white. Now, the only problem is that it printed out, it's too dark to really write on. I should have just picked a lighter one that was all white, which is some of the ones that I had. So I decided I didn't like this, and we're going to use it for flip outs and such and cards, because we're going to line everything with our cream colored paper, like we're going to back all of our cards with the cream colored paper. Okay, so I just set these, I wrote wrong on back, paper clip them together, set those over here. And then the ones that I just left as the ones we're going to use, I did not print on the back of, except for the writing pages, which I did print the writing on the back, but on the regular pages I just left white because they're going to be the ones that we glue down onto the book, so they don't need to be printed on the back. Okay, so let's now we also have to cut this down, because if you remember, these are the UK sizes, so they're shorter. So you're going to have to cut your backing page or your book pages down to where they're 1/8 of an inch on the top and 1/8 of an inch on the bottom larger. Then I went ahead and inked it all vintage photo. Make sure that you ink the centers, and go ahead and ink the corners on both sides, because remember, they're going to be separated by the pages in between. So each one is going to look like its own individual page. All right. So that's that. We can, this is going to be the cover. And this is going to be the back cover. And I wrote ribbon on here, so I didn't forget to put the tie on to tie the book shut. This is going to be a small, almost a booklet but I'm going to call it a one signature book. We're not going to put a cover on it. We're just going to use a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So we can set this to the side for right now, and we can set these papers to the side because we don't need them yet. We're going to need one of the writing card papers, I believe, or one of the papers that's wrong on the back side to make a writing card out of, because we're going to back it. Because we're going to back it, not cuz. That's what you call your cousin. Now, on this one part is going to be the flip out, and the other part is going to be the paper for the page. So, this is going to be the flip out, but we need to cut this page in half first. So the easiest way to do this, because they're kind of a funny measurement, is to take the page, fold it in half, and then just pinch the top where the center is, and then cut it right there. And that will give you the center. Now, of course, our flip out isn't going to be that big, but we definitely want the center. Wow, it's really hard to see on here. Because of this back. I'm going to trim just a smidge off. This is the flip out. This is the page. So I got it right, because I was a little off center. Okay, so we need to ink this paper. I'm using Vintage Photo. I don't remember if I said that before or not. Now, on most of the other pages, or papers, I will have them cut and inked ahead of time. But I wanted to show you how I'm cutting them in half on this one, or how I'm determining where the center is. And I may use the white ones. I may have to print out another set, because you really can't see the middle where these where that lace is. It's really difficult. Might be able to fold it to make that little line, and then pencil in a line. Okay, this is going to be for backing our cards and our flip out. So now this is a paper. We're going to set this to the side, and we're going to work on the flip out. Now the flip out is going to be 4.5 inches wide, and that's because we're going to fold a half of it under. We're not going to use an envelope for this. We're going to go ahead and just use the paper straight up. And that way you can see how to do it that way, and then further on in the book we'll do an envelope. So we want to score this at 1/2 inch on the side that we want to flip out, which is going to be this side over here. This is my Fiskars paper trimmer, and it comes with or not comes with, but you can buy a scoring tool instead of a blade. And so I did that, and when I got my big trimmer, which is this one, this great big one, I just left the score tool on there. So we're going to turn it upside down, put it at 1/2 inch, and then score it. And this is going to help us because we're going to put in a window. We didn't cut it to 4 inches. We cut it to 4.5. Okay, see, that way it's narrower than this. Okay, so we're going to want it to fold back this way. We're going to miter the corners. To help make it where you can't see the corner, or where it's glued on at the top and the bottom. I'm going to leave it the same height as the page. So that means we're going to have to ink this. On the front. Don't forget to ink the fold, and ink it on the front and the back, because you might see a little bit of this edge once you've glued it on. So I always catch that little bit and then go down, and then catch this little bit and go across. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a window in this, and then we'll add the acetate. So now I've decided that I'm going to use these circles for this entire kit. Whenever we have a window that's a circle, we're going to use this. Which is a scalloped circle. Okay? And this one's going to be the right size, I think. Let me look at the one smaller. I think that'd be too small, so let's do this one. I'll keep mine in a CD cover so I can see what's on the inside instead of just an envelope. The largest one in this kit is 4 inches, and I got them on Temu.com, Temu.com. So now we're going to get the Big Shot out. This side is really hard to work with. It's another reason I've now decided that it was a bad choice. So you're going to put this blade side down. I want it farther to the top than the bottom. I want to be able to see these flowers. And then we're going to save the center and use it as a tag. So we'll save this center and use it as a tag. I'm going to paper clip this one to the outside so I know which one we've used. Okay, then we need to ink this window. And this is just for those of you who haven't made one of these before. If you have, this is more of a craft along. I've decided to call them both because it depends on whether you're a beginner or intermediate. Even if you're experienced, I try to do unique pages or somewhat unique pages so that you can learn how to do it. Now, one thing we're going to do before we put the acetate on, which I just now thought of, is I was going to put cream on the back so that we can write on it and then stamp it. But then that's going to give us just a plain cream colored backing in here. So what we're going to have to do is maybe we'll cut the cream and then put a stamp right there. We'll make a mark for the center before we stamp it, so we know. Now at 4 inches, for some reason that's a smidge wide. And I'm measuring not from the fold, but just the center. And with the lace being on the back, it's okay if a teeny bit of it shows. Okay, so then let me mark the length, because remember it's not going to be a full 8.5 inches. Alright, it looks like we're going to see a smidge of the lace all the way around, but that's going to be fine. Okay, we want to ink this front and back. And we're inking the front because we're going to make a pocket out of it, and you might see the inside edge. So let's just go ahead and ink it. Then we're going to ink the back because that's where, that's the side you'll see. So technically we would only have to ink the edge. That's going to be where the pocket is. But I don't want to accidentally ink the wrong side and then glue it. So I'm just going to ink all the sides on both sides. Okay, so let's put it behind here. You know, we could have used the paper with the lace on it, but I don't really like that. So let's mark our center. It's going to be right about there. Maybe a little bit higher. Okay, now let's put our acetate on here. This is a little bit thicker acetate, So you can see there's a slight bit of a color to it. I like it because you can see where you're gluing. Okay, now I'm just making sure it covers the circle and then enough to glue. And remember, you've got this fold here, so you don't want to measure the acetate over onto the fold, because that would be bad. Wouldn't work. I always paper clip my acetate scraps together so I can see them. And these that are probably too small for anything, well, it might work as a pocket. So now we're going to glue it on here. And I'm using Fabri-Tac, which works just fine. And with it having a little bit of a tint to it, you can see the edge fairly well. Glue along the edge of it. Over from our fold, but covering the window. Okay. Now we're going to take our stamp, which I set out some roses. I thought that would look pretty. Now, since this is going to go in the center of a circle, I think this bigger one would be better. Now, I'm not very good at stamping, so we will continue to improve our skills together. Put this on the stamping block with the bumpy side up. Now this one is directional, so I want to put the leaves facing down. I want to stamp it right about here, I think. So we're going to hold it just for a second. You don't want to rock it back and forth or smear it around. You don't want to distort your image. Then you want to pick it straight up like that. Could have used a little more ink right there, but I think that's fine. So now let me get a drink of pop. So now we're going to glue this to this. Oh, that looks nice. And we're going to make it so that there's a pocket from this side. So we're only going to glue this on 3 sides. These 3 sides. You know, I meant to stamp the back of this first as well. It's more important to have these lined up and see a little bit of lace on this side. This doesn't look quite straight to me, so we'll put some lace or some washi or something, which I was trying to avoid, but we'll do that on the inside. So now let's stamp this. And I think what we'll do is I think we'll put the big one down here. And then we'll put the smaller one possibly up here. Let's wait and see what it looks like with the big one. And then we'll leave the rest of it as writing space, even though it's just cream. Let's see if I can get all of it inked this time. Look at that. Of course, this is not going to work. We may have to cover it with a pocket. See if I can line it up. It still didn't ink in the center. I wonder why. All right, we're going to have to cover that with a pocket. Wonder what the problem is. Oh, we were stamping the wrong end anyway. So we'll have to put a piece of ephemera over it. Or we could still put something across here and make it a tuck. That might be more fun. I told you I'm not very good at stamping. I wonder, I just don't understand why this whole part was not inked when there's ink coming off on my finger right there. I just don't know. Inking or stamping is a mystery to me. Okay. So we're going to put this on here. I'm really disappointed that that didn't come out. But we all make mistakes. It's not like it's a surprise that a mistake can be made. Yeah, that's definitely crooked. Definitely going to have to cover that up. Not as crooked as I thought, though. Once you get those little angle and get the points lined up, then you'll see that it's not as crooked as it looks. That noise was because it was too far over. Let's see what happens. Now this should be a pocket, which it is. And you can see that little bit of an inked edge there. I'm really glad this one came out. Let's take our bone folder. I have this carousel thing over here. I really like it. I got it at Temu as well. This is not a commercial for them. I'm just telling you where I got it. It's got sections in it. And you can actually take each section out if you want. Very cool, I think, anyway. Okay, so we've got that. You know what else I forgot to do? I was going to put a magnet on it. Now it's going to swing out. Okay, well, I'm not happy with that. And then I'll put the triple thick on here. Let's put the pocket on here. I think I'll probably use one of the other stamps then if that one's going to be so difficult to work with because of that big flat area. This one might be the better one to work with. But we'll take a piece of the one of the printed pages and put it on here. Or just put that over it. Which is a rose, which is what I wanted to put there in the first place. If I had looked at my directions, I would have not missed the step where I put the magnet on. Now, since we're putting this on, I can put a magnet on. Because I'll put it on and then cover it up with this. It won't be as good as having one in the center. But I can put it fairly far down. Let's make a mark where the bottom of this goes. It worked out well. Okay, and then we can put it halfway down. In fact, we can put it farther down. That will be almost the center of the page. I'm glad that worked out. This piece of tape is too big. Okay. should have taken the two of them off at once. There we go. That will hold that shut. Good. Okay, we'll ink this. My scan and cut is off. I'm not really sure why. It's showing a little bit of the cream or the paper on one side and cutting off a little bit of the brown on the other. So I'm going to look up online how to calibrate it. I'm just going around it again because I don't think I got most of the corners enough. Well, we really got lucky with this. Now, if we had, almost wondering, no, let's glue it down because of the magnet. I was going to say we could have put it on as a tuck, an up tuck. But that magnet's there. I'm thinking sliding. Yeah, see, it'll just stick up like that. And I can get out my stencils and do a stencil down here if I want. I'm more confident with stencils than I am with stamps. I've got, my friend told me to use something kind of padded, like an old mouse pad, so that when you push down, it mushes down in there. So I got out this one, and I should have probably tried it to see if it works. Okay, so we've got that there. And we've got our page here. Let's put our acetate pocket on here. I trimmed just a hair off because a little bit of the red showed from the other cut. And this has, maybe you can see it, it's got a scalloped top because it came from a notebook, like a photo album. So the edge of it was in a spiral. And it looks like we're going to have enough time to go through the writing card. So I will make one. And then the next writing card that we have, I will go through. I'm sure you know how to back a writing card, but we'll go over it just in case. And then, well, maybe we'll do it at the beginning of the next video. I'm going to glue this on 3 sides. And on this thicker one, if you rub it, you don't really see the glue. Okay, so we have the acetate pocket on there. We're going to put the card in here. Let me see our time. Well, we have 10 minutes. We're going to make a writing card that fits in here. So I'm going to take the cream color, and I'm going to make that the size of the card that I want, which is going to be about this size. I am going to get a stencil out instead of the stamp. Now I'm scared. But we could do that first. Let's do it first and see if that, we'll see if that mouse pad works. This will be the back side. Then on the front side, we're just going to cut a piece of the collage paper or the writing paper, either one, or the backing paper, and then make it a smidge smaller than this. Okay, let's try this again. Try it this way. Let's see if the softer surface works better. Well, it did. Okay. So we need to ink it. We need to round the corners first. Let's see, what order do I want to do this in? Yeah, I want to ink it. I'm sorry, I want to round the corners. Well, I should have made the paper first. And we're going to take a piece of the paper, which I hadn't decided on ahead of time. We need something that'll go with this. Yeah, let's use that. We could use this. And you could write on both sides of the card. We're definitely going to have to print out more copies of the pages. Let's ink it before we forget. Now I haven't put any lace on anything yet. I won't put lace on that pocket because we want it to be, you know, a hidden pocket or an invisible pocket. I really don't know why I inked the other side. That's the side we're going to cover with the paper. But, oh, you will see the edge. Okay, now we're going to take this paper we're just going to measure it to a little bit smaller than this. So let's put it up here. Pretend like we don't have the rounded corners. Okay, so we're going to make it this wide. We're going to make it this long. Okay, that looks right. So now from now on, when we do a window, unless it's in an envelope, then I'll do the window off camera, and that'll save us time. And you'll notice that I should have printed more than one of these and one without there anything being on the back, because I'm wasting this because I'm gluing it on here. Okay, so then we'll glue this on and then we'll be done with this video. This is directional, so you want to make sure that you put it right side up. Which side do I want the roses on? I think I want them down this side. Plus it looks like there's more roses on that side. We've got a rose stamped on the back, so that's going to work out well. Now, I did make this a little small, and it turned out that way because I rounded the corners first on the big one, but I think it still looks nice. Okay, we've got the rose stamped on the back. And put the writing card in there. Okay, and we got the writing area here with our ephemera. We've got the magnet that holds everything shut. Now we do need to make a card for here. We don't have time for that. And then put a tab on it. So we'll do that next time, and we need to put the triple thick on the flowers. Now, in the interest of not having to wait for it to dry, I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera. You just take the paintbrush and you dunk it in the triple thick like it's paint or Mod Podge, and you just paint whatever you want to have the gloss or the sheen to it. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera, and I might make the card off camera. Cards are easy to make. You guys have made a card that goes in a pocket, I'm sure, and put a tab on it. So I don't think that's something we need to go over. Okay? Okay, well, that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.